No one imagined that. After so many setbacks and delays, the Tesla Semi project would finally take shape. But the signs are clear. Drones have spotted carefully wrapped units, ready for shipment, near the Giga Nevada factory. Elon Musk hasn't announced anything officially, as usual, but the movement there speaks for itself. Everything indicates that the long-awaited version 2 of the Tesla Semi is about to come out of the shadows to invade American roads. And the most curious thing? This truck, which for years was the butt of jokes due to its delays, is now about to become the protagonist of a revolution in cargo transportation. Elon Musk's promise has always been bold: to create an electric truck that would outperform diesel models in terms of efficiency, operating costs, and environmental impact. And it looks like he'll keep aiming high. The new version of the Semi is expected to be more than just a vehicle. It could represent a historic turning point for the logistics industry. With mass production scheduled for soon, the Semi is rumored to go from being a rare prototype to a common sight on U.S. highways. The idea of a clean, quiet truck with supercar-like performance will no longer be a fantasy. Over the past few years, the Semi has become something of an urban legend. Since its announcement in 2017, with promises of production in 2019, all that's been seen are prototypes here and there, token deliveries to companies like PepsiCo, and a factory that never got going. But Tesla likes the unpredictable, and now it looks like the company is starting to turn that around. The installation of a dedicated semi-production line is nearly complete, according to experts who have been following the progress of Giga Nevada. Tesla may be on the verge of ushering in a new era for electric trucks. The movement around the factory has caught the attention of those who follow Tesla closely. Several units of the Semi, apparently newly manufactured, were seen side by side in a testing area. One, in particular, caught everyone's attention. It was wrapped in black plastic, positioned on a giant pallet. This detail sparked even more curiosity. Could this be the final version of the Semi, or just a special test model? Whatever the answer, there is a growing sense that Tesla is just a few steps away from a grand reveal. The scenario could not be more symbolic. After years of being treated as an unfeasible project, the Semi may start to come out on a large scale, directly from an automated production line. Elon Musk has already stated that he expects to produce around 50,000 units per year soon. An ambitious number, but not impossible, considering the capacity of Tesla's factories. And that's when the game could change for good. If this plan comes to fruition, the Semi could quickly overcome its image as an experimental product and take the position of the most produced electric truck in history. Anyone who had the chance to take a closer look at the new Tesla Semi wrapped in black plastic noticed something curious right away. The front of the truck didn't look exactly the same as previous versions. The bumper line was more prominent, and the hood seemed longer, as if it were hiding something else inside. The difference was subtle, but anyone who knows Tesla knows that no detail is by chance. This change in design could indicate a series of aerodynamic updates designed to increase efficiency on the road, and also a touch of renewed visual identity to mark this new phase of the project. Another detail that caught our attention were the new rear-view mirrors. Yes, mirrors! A simple but essential component for the safety of any truck. Tesla engineers seem to have completely rethought this item. Instead of robust and poorly aerodynamic structures like in traditional models, the Semi will adopt more compact mirrors, strategically positioned to reduce air resistance and offer better visibility. And there's more. A new side glass panel, known as drop glass, was added to allow the driver to see the ground and obstacles next to the truck more easily. But perhaps what has fueled the most rumors in recent days is the possible inclusion of a sleeping compartment, the famous sleeper cab. Due to the elongated shape of the cabin, many bet that this version of the Semi will come with a reserved area for the driver to rest, something crucial for long-distance trips. And that makes perfect sense. If Tesla wants its electric truck to dominate the roads of the United States, it will need to meet the real needs of truckers, and that includes comfort, practicality, and the chance to take a nap between charges. Dan Priestley, head of the Tesla Semi team, had already let slip that the company was testing a new layout with a rest area. The idea would be to create a small area behind the seats, with a reinforced metal structure, capable of housing a fold-out bed. Nothing luxurious, but functional enough to accommodate 1 or 2 drivers taking turns. This addition could be decisive in convincing transport companies to bet on the model for interstate routes. After all, a truck that doesn't need to stop at hotels represents a saving in time and money. This adaptation of the interior space will also open doors to a new category of drivers. Many truck drivers avoid vehicles with cramped or poorly designed cabins. Since its first version, the Semi has attracted attention for its ample and well-distributed interior space. Now, with the inclusion of the sleeper cab, it will be able to offer what few electric competitors offer: true comfort for long journeys. This may lead experienced drivers to consider switching to an electric truck without fear of losing quality of life on the road. When it comes to batteries, Tesla never skimps on innovation. And with the Semi, that would be no different. The big news for this second version will be the abandonment of the well-known 2170 and even 4680 cells, which many expected to see in the truck. In their place, a new type of HV battery, short for high voltage, comes into play, which promises to be lighter, more efficient, and, most importantly, cheaper to manufacture. For a heavy vehicle like the Semi, where every kilo lost can mean more kilometers of range, this change could make all the difference. The most impressive thing about this change is that, even with a smaller battery, the Semi should still maintain its 500-mile range on a full charge. This will be possible thanks to a combination of aerodynamic improvements, propulsion system optimization, and, most importantly, an efficiency gain of more than 7%. It may not seem like much at first glance, but in a cargo truck, this represents thousands of dollars saved over the course of a year. And as Elon Musk often says, it's not just about selling trucks, it's about changing the logic of transportation as a whole. This new HV battery will also play a strategic role in reducing operating costs. The less energy a truck needs to travel long distances, the lower the electricity bill for companies. And with Tesla investing heavily in its own network of chargers, megachargers, the idea is that the Semi can complete long journeys with fast and affordable recharges, something that will become even more viable with the improved efficiency of the new battery pack. Dan Priestley has previously hinted that this HV battery would represent Tesla's best technology yet. This includes not only greater efficiency, but also a more compact design with a lower environmental impact. Because the new pack will contain less material and require less energy to produce, it could become Tesla's first battery system designed from the ground up with sustainability in mind. The Semi won't just be an electric truck, it could become an example of how to build environmentally responsible heavy-duty vehicles right from the assembly line. And there's a detail that's worth its weight in gold. By reducing the size of the battery without losing range, the Semi will become lighter. This weight reduction can have a knock-on effect, impacting not only performance, but also costs with tires, suspension system wear, and even road taxes, which in some countries are calculated based on the vehicle's tonnage. It seems simple, but each gain of this type puts Tesla one step ahead of its competitors. With a more efficient, lightweight, and compact battery, Tesla will gain the flexibility to adapt the Semi to different markets. And this leads us directly to a strategic move that is already starting to move the industry behind the scenes. Expansion into Europe. The company recently hired a new executive with an impressive resume, a degree in energy engineering and experience in the electric commercial vehicle sector. His mission? To exclusively take care of the development and presence of the Tesla Semi in Europe, where the regulations are stricter, costs are higher, and the market is very different from the American one. It's no secret that Europe is undergoing an accelerated transition towards cleaner transport. Diesel prices are sky high, and toll fees for combustion-fueled trucks are weighing on transport companies' pockets. In countries like Germany and France, operating a polluting truck can cost up to $25,000 a year in taxes alone. And that's exactly where the Semi could come in as an irresistible alternative, offering significant savings due to its zero-emissions nature. And of course, with Tesla's signature. The company seems to know this very well and is beginning to plan a bold move to gain ground on European soil. But, as with everything in life, there is one important detail. The Tesla Semi, as it stands today, does not fully meet the standards required in Europe. This means that, in order to conquer this market, it will need to undergo adjustments. One of them is the length of the vehicle. European regulations are stricter regarding the size of trucks, and the Semi's long cabin may have to be shortened. This will not be an insurmountable obstacle, but it will require adaptations that Tesla is still carefully analyzing before starting production of a European version. Another point that will need to change is the positioning of the steering wheel. In Europe, trucks follow a driving pattern with the driver on the left, the opposite of the central positioning present in the original Tesla Semi. Although this central positioning works well in the US, it could create awkwardness and difficulties on the narrower and older streets of European cities. Tesla is already aware of this, and changing the steering wheel to the side will be practically inevitable if it wants to establish itself in this competitive market. Despite these technical challenges, European companies have already shown interest in the Tesla Semi. One example is Costco, a Norwegian food distributor that has already placed an order for 10 units. The company, which already works with electric trucks from other brands, said it was betting on Tesla because of the Semi's advanced technologies. This shows that the Tesla name continues to attract attention, even where competition is fierce. And it also signals that, with the right tweaks, the Semi could become a viable option in markets where energy efficiency and environmental regulations go hand in hand. There is also a more strategic vision behind this expansion. Elon Musk has already made it clear during a visit to Giga Berlin that he sees Europe as the ideal place to produce the Semi, not only because of the growing demand for electric vehicles, but also because of the chance to set up factories closer to the continent's main logistics centers. This would allow Tesla to reduce transportation costs, avoid import taxes, and even position itself as a local brand, which, in Europe, makes a big difference in the acceptance of the product. If there's one thing Tesla can't ignore in Europe, it's the weight of the competition. Unlike the American market, where the Semi will have more freedom to dictate trends, in the old continent, it will enter a well-populated territory. Giants like Volvo and Mercedes-Benz are not just present, they dominate. The Volvo FH Electric, for example, is already running on several European roads with good results. Mercedes, in turn, is investing heavily in the e-Actros 600, an electric truck that has been receiving praise for its reliability and integration with the existing infrastructure. In other words, the Semi will need to shine more than ever to stand out. In addition to strong competitors, Tesla will also have to deal with another major obstacle: charging infrastructure. While the company is accelerating the construction of the mega charger network in the United States, in Europe this is still in its infancy. Electric trucks require much higher charging power than passenger cars, and installing stations capable of charging a Semi in a timely manner requires a heavy investment. Without this consolidated network, many fleet operators may hesitate to invest in Tesla's truck. And it doesn't stop there. A recurring criticism from Europe concerns Tesla's limited maintenance network for commercial vehicles. While local brands already have hundreds of workshops, specialized mechanics, and spare parts in every corner of the continent, Tesla is still building this ecosystem. This is a risk for companies that depend on constant uptime. If a truck breaks down and can't be repaired quickly, the loss is certain. That's why the reliability of the after-sales service will be decisive when it comes to convincing Europeans. Another point raised by analysts is Tesla's limited offering of commercial models. For now, the Semi is the only one in its category, while brands such as Scania and Renault offer a varied line of electric trucks, adaptable to different operating profiles. This lack of options could make it difficult to create a more robust support network and make the Semi a more isolated product in the European portfolio. Tesla may even have an innovative proposal, but it will have to prove that it can sustain this innovation with breadth and consistency. To make matters worse, there is also the issue of adapting the vehicle itself. The original design of the Semi, with its long nose and central cabin, completely deviates from the European standard for flat cabins. This is not just a question of aesthetics. It has to do with legislation and space. In many European cities, space is tight, and trucks need to maneuver quickly. The traditional European cabin, with the driver positioned to the side and directly above the engine, makes these maneuvers easier and makes better use of the legal length allowed for trucks on the continent. The idea behind the Tesla Semi was never just to create an electric truck. From the beginning, Elon Musk has made it clear that the mission goes beyond that. It's about transforming road transport into something truly sustainable. In an industry dominated by diesel engines for decades, this goal sounds ambitious, and perhaps even utopian to some. But Tesla seems determined to prove that it's possible. And it's not just marketing talk. What's happening behind the scenes involves strategy, hard numbers, and the support of giant companies that, by all indications, see the Semi as a key piece in reducing costs and significantly cutting carbon emissions. PepsiCo, Walmart, and Costco are all big names in the game, and they're all already testing the Tesla Semi in their daily operations. These companies have something in common. They operate massive fleets, travel long distances every day, and spend millions on fuel and maintenance. For them, a reliable electric truck with a real-world range of 500 miles could not only save them a lot of money, but also provide a competitive advantage in a world where ESG, environmental, social, and governance, has become a priority. Tesla knows this, which is why the Semi is being treated as a strategic investment, not just a product. Environmental impact is also a central part of this equation. Diesel trucks account for a huge share of road pollution emissions. They are noisy, expensive to maintain, and consume fuel like there is no tomorrow. The Semi proposal, if executed as expected, could change this scenario completely. Running on electricity, with almost no noise and reduced maintenance, the Tesla truck could become the standard model for companies that want to meet environmental goals without compromising logistical efficiency. But what is perhaps most impressive is the way Musk sees the Semi as a kind of symbol. For him, it's not just about changing the engine, it's about changing the paradigm. The idea is to show that heavy vehicles don't have to be slow, noisy, or polluting to be powerful. On the contrary, they can be clean, modern, and even more efficient than the current ones. And this is not just theory. Tests carried out in real environments with partner companies already indicate drastic reductions in costs per mile driven, both in energy and maintenance. This is the kind of data that makes any logistics spreadsheet smile. Another issue that cannot go unnoticed is durability. Conventional trucks live on the edge. Parts break, engines fail, and maintenance becomes routine. With the Semi, this logic changes. No combustion engine, no oil, no complex transmission. Tesla's promise is that the simplicity of the electric motor will bring longevity and fewer headaches. For companies that operate dozens or hundreds of trucks, this means fewer downtimes, fewer unexpected expenses, and more predictable operations. All of this fits perfectly with the goal of greener and more efficient logistics. It was when the subject seemed to be over with the Tesla Semi that Elon Musk, as always, changed the focus and revealed something even bolder: the Tesla Optimus. Suddenly, the most anticipated electric truck in the world shares the spotlight with a humanoid robot that promises to completely transform the concept of work. Yes, work. Musk is not thinking of robots for show or entertainment. The plan is much more ambitious: to create machines capable of performing domestic, operational, and industrial tasks with autonomy, efficiency, and intelligence. And if it depends on Tesla's pace, the Optimus could arrive sooner than many imagine. At first, many people laughed. A robot that cleans the house, serves coffee, folds clothes, and even knows how to walk around the living room without tripping over the dog? It seemed like something out of science fiction. But with each demonstration, Optimus is taking shape and gaining respect. In less than 2 years, it has evolved enough to open doors, clean tables, carry delicate objects, and execute simple commands with precision. The most impressive thing is that it learns from videos. Just watch someone performing a task, and the robot is able to replicate it with a speed that borders on absurd. It doesn't need programming or complex training, just a good visual demonstration. The new generation of Optimus will feature a more powerful and compact battery, based on the same 4680 technology that Tesla intends to implement on a large scale in the coming years. This battery will allow the robot to operate for up to 10 hours straight, performing household or industrial tasks without interruption. What's more, it will know when it needs to recharge, returning on its own to the power station, as if it were a full-body Roomba. With motion sensors, depth cameras, and an artificial intelligence system trained with millions of parameters, Optimus will have what Musk called robotic intuition, an ability to adapt to the environment and the people around it. Another crucial breakthrough was the development of hands with 22 degrees of freedom and tactile sensors. This allows the robot to hold anything from a glass to a garbage bag, applying just the right amount of force without crushing or dropping it. It may seem like a small detail, but that's what sets it apart from other rigid robotics projects. Optimus won't just be functional. It'll also be safe and sensitive. It'll know when to wash its hands, when it's touching something fragile, and when to step away. And that could open up possibilities in sensitive areas like caring for the elderly, children, or even hospital patients. But Musk isn't stopping there. He's already talked more than once about the possibility of sending Optimus to Mars. That's right, Mars. Instead of relying on astronauts to set up infrastructure in a hostile and dangerous environment, Musk plans to use humanoid robots to do the dirty work, transporting cargo, assembling solar panels, installing sensors, and preparing housing. All of these could be Optimus's tasks, thanks to its sturdy frame and ability to operate autonomously. And if Starship does manage to blast off to the Red Planet in the next few years, it wouldn't be surprising if the first colonists have metal arms and camera eyes.